2003. Those were the years where Republicans were the most focused on cutting taxes for the rich, not cutting them for the poor, and passing bills in ungodly, sneaky ways. As well as just being overly dishonest, well, liars. Good thing we moved past that! So the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act has currently passed both the House of Representatives and the Senate. All Republicans voted for it in the Senate. All but 12 voted for it in the House of Representatives. So, this is what we currently have. Fox did a full breakdown of the bill. I am going to read just some of the things they mentioned right now. Now, as I've mentioned before, this is not just a tax bill. I've mentioned before, they've actually snuck in, or tried to sneak in at least, a repeal of the individual mandate. The individual mandate repeal did actually make it into the final version of the bill, which was essentially the glue that held Obamacare together. Essentially, they're going to use this as a way to completely remove the Affordable Care Act, because now this would cause premiums to go up an exponential amount. There are some reports saying they'd be as high as 20%. And may I remind you again, the individual mandate was their plan. Nixon proposed in the 60s. Bob Dole, who is a friend of the tobacco industry, by the way, if anyone gets that Family Guy reference, proposed it in 96 when he was running for president. Romney passed it in Massachusetts in 04. Gingrich, who was the Speaker of the House, I don't think he was the Speaker of the House at that time, but I know he was a Republican Speaker of the House, at least under Clinton's presidency. And was sitting there praising it. Grassley, who's still a senator to this day, was sitting there supporting it. So yeah, it was their idea, and then their response was, well, a Democrat passed it, so we don't like that. Here's another one. It sets the individual income tax rate of 37% below 38.5% in the Senate bill and 39.6% in the House bill. Okay, so again, another giant tax cut, this time by 2.6%. Wow. And they eliminate the alternative minimum tax, which is essentially you could deduct so much that you're paying about 5%, or you're paying the bottom tax bracket. The alternative minimum tax says no, at some point you can't deduct anymore. They got rid of that. I can't snap to save my life. It also eliminates, or it reduces the amount of Medicaid insurance subsidies most people are going to get, which would dramatically reduce income for the lower class. And for that matter, here's some more. This so-called tax cut for everyone, according to the Tax Policy Center, would reduce taxes on average by about 2% in 2018, about 1.8% in 2025, and by 2027 it'd be less than 1%. Oh my god. Just wow. Again, even as a tax cut, this thing does not work by any means. And I've talked about just how many people, and they're going to say, well, actually, a lower tax rate would lead to higher wages. Which just isn't true. Let me tell you why. Because if you're making $24,000 after taxes, you've established you're willing to work for $24,000 a year. So then, what is stopping an employer from paying you $24,000 a year even with a tax cut, and just adjusting it to your taxes and slashing your wages? But oh my god, it's just there is no way this bill isn't an objective failure. And that's it. I'm Ephrom, and good night.